step into the shadowy world of espionage and intrigue. Today, we unravel the secret lives and daring betrayals of the Cambridge Five, a spy network that rewrote the rules of the Cold War. In the shadowy world of espionage during the 20th century, the Cambridge Five stands out as one of the most infamous and impactful spy rings. They infiltrated the highest echelons of British intelligence and passed secrets to the Soviet Union, profoundly influencing the course of global politics during and after World War II. Cambridge University became fertile ground for Soviet recruiters, targeting young intellectuals disillusioned with capitalism and alarmed by the rise of fascism. Arnold Deutsch, a Soviet agent, approached promising students like Kim Philby, Guy Burgess, Donald Maclean, Anthony Blunt, and later John Cairncross. These men were idealistic, motivated by communist ideologies, and believed they were contributing to a global cause against fascism. They pledged loyalty to the Soviet Union and began clandestine training in espionage. They were recruited by Soviet intelligence while studying at the University of Cambridge in the 1930s, during a period of growing ideological clashes worldwide. After graduating, the five moved into critical roles in British government and intelligence. Kim Philby joined MI6, the British Secret Intelligence Service. Guy Burgess and Donald Maclean held positions in the Foreign Office. Anthony Blunt worked for MI5, the domestic counterintelligence agency, and as an art historian. John Cairncross infiltrated the Treasury and later the code-breaking team at Bletchley Park. Once embedded in British institutions, the Cambridge Five adopted sophisticated methods to pass secrets to their Soviet handlers. Microfilm and dead drops. Information was photographed on microfilm and left in concealed locations, such as hollowed-out trees or secret compartments, for Soviet operatives to retrieve. Face-to-face meetings. Regular clandestine meetings were held with Soviet handlers in various locations, including London and continental Europe. Encrypted messages. Some communication was conducted through encoded radio transmissions. Philby, as a high-ranking member of MI6, and Maclean, as a diplomat, had access to classified documents, which they copied or memorized for transfer. The Cambridge Five shared critical intelligence directly with Soviet intelligence agencies, including the NKVD and later the KGB. Their information was sent to Moscow, where it was analyzed and used to shape Soviet strategies. Key information passed on included British war strategies during World War II, Allied plans for the D-Day invasion, the development of the atomic bomb Manhattan Project, the inner workings of Western intelligence agencies, particularly MI6 and the CIA. The Cambridge Five maintained regular communication with their Soviet handlers. In return, they received instructions, praise, and sometimes financial support. The Soviets praised the Cambridge Five for their high-value intelligence, which helped the USSR develop its nuclear program and counter Western military strategies. Double lives. The group maintained impeccable reputations in Britain while secretly working for Moscow. Dramatic escapes. The defections of Burgess, Maclean, and Philby were dramatic, with secret flights and narrowly avoided captures. In the early 1950s, suspicions began to grow. When British intelligence discovered espionage, it triggered a seismic reaction. British and American intelligence identified Donald Maclean as a Soviet spy through decrypted VNONA project cables. Guy Burgess, realizing Maclean was about to be arrested, helped him escape to Moscow. Burgess defected alongside Maclean. Their sudden disappearance caused a massive scandal and drew attention to Kim Philby, who was investigated but escaped prosecution due to lack of evidence. This revelations damaged trust between Britain and its allies, particularly the United States. Defections. Philby, Maclean, and Burgess defected before they could be arrested, causing international embarrassment. Policy changes. MI5 and MI6 implemented stricter vetting processes to prevent similar infiltrations. Public outrage. The exposure of Anthony Blunt in the 1970s reignited public fury, leading to debates about treason and loyalty. Where are they now? Kim Philby defected to Moscow in 1963 and lived there until his death in 1988. He struggled with isolation but remained loyal to communism. Donald Maclean defected in 1951 along with Guy Burgess. He lived in Moscow, working as a Soviet advisor, and died in 1983. Guy Burgess defected with McLean in 1951. His flamboyant lifestyle in Moscow contrasted with the bleak Soviet environment. He died in 1963. Anthony Blunt, exposed in the 1970s but granted immunity in exchange for cooperation. He lived in Britain under disgrace until his death in 1983. John Cairncross, the least known of the five, he was unmasked in the 1990s. He lived quietly in the UK and later in France, dying in 1995. The Cambridge Five altered the course of espionage and diplomacy during the Cold War. Their betrayal highlighted the vulnerabilities of intelligence agencies and reshaped counterintelligence strategies globally. The Cambridge Five story remains one of the most dramatic and impactful espionage sagas in modern history, capturing the dangers and complexities of the spy world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into espionage, like, share, and subscribe to Finesse for more untold stories that uncover the truth behind the curtain of time. See you in the next adventure.